This is day 2 of our 3-day ride on the Trans-Wisconsin Trail. The weather would make this a very challenging day.
A little rainy start here in beautiful Black River, Wisconsin. Yeah.
So here we are at the start of day 2 of the Trans-Wisconsin Trail. We left our buddy's cabin this morning, and it rained quite a bit last night, and it rained all morning, so we got a little wet, just getting going, and it rained pretty good for a few miles, and now it's like we're already coming out of the rain and into some nice sky, so maybe we'll get lucky today. Shortly after leaving the cabin, the route leads us into a fun section that uses some of the Clark County ATV trails. When these trails are dry, they can be very sandy, but I avoid the worst sections on the route, and the rain we got actually helped make the sand a little easier to ride. So what do you think of being in the sand for kind of a newbie?
Hard and scary.
Yeah.
And fun.
The Clark County section of the route winds its way through the 133,000 acre Clark County forest on some fun forest roads, and then we end up in the popular camping area called Rock Dam, and after that we hop on some gravel roads and head up to the town of Thorpe, where we fuel up for our next section.
Picking up some rain just north of Thorpe, Wisconsin. At least it's not cold, it's actually kind of pleasant.
One of the most popular sections of this route is the optional Perkinstown Trail. The Perkinstown Trail is an ATV trail that offers about 20 miles of challenging and scenic trails in the Chequamegon National Forest. As luck would have it, it started to rain quite heavily once we headed out on the trail. As usual though, some of the most miserable conditions helped to make some really good memories. On this trip, we had quite a variety of bikes and skill levels. There were advanced riders on light bikes like the KTM 690, and even a newer adventure rider on a Tiger 800.
This looks like a good spot. Probably a good spot for me to get wet.
I often get asked questions about what bike to take on this route or which tires to run, and I always suggest to run knobby tires on dual sport bikes, and on big bikes, run the most aggressive tire possible. With ideal conditions, you might be able to get away with 50-50 tires, but as you will see here, tires make a big difference when the going gets tough. I can't see shit! I really hope this thing is waterproof like they say it is.
Even with knobby tires on a dual sport, you can get yourself really stuck, which I demonstrate here.
Uh-oh!
Yes. Oh shit. You have to get off.
Jesus, there's like quicksand there. There, I got a picture of this.
Oh fuck! One sec, let me get around you. Yeah, let me. Whoa.
The BMW 1200 GS was the biggest bike on this trip and had the least aggressive tires. The year before, he had no trouble on this trail, but the sloppy conditions this time made it quite challenging.
What's going on, fellas?
Beamers are heavy.
Yeah? I don't know, but this is a handful on a KLR with knobbies. I'm about to imagine what it's like on a GS 1200 with...
Front totally washes out.
Well, we don't have much... We don't have a whole lot further to go to the road.
Shall we try?
Chad, I'll run cleanup for a little bit.
Yeah.
Apparently I can't pick the crash spot, so I'll run cleanup for a little bit, see if I can spot them.
I think once we get out the road, still have to beeline it to Perkinstown, I think.
Oh, really?
These tires ain't hooking up at all. Nothing.
Okay.
Since the Beamer was having a hard time maintaining traction, we decided to take the closest forest road into Perkinstown instead of continuing on more ATV trails. This turned out to be a good idea since the Tiger developed a problem with the shift linkage. The only problem was we still had quite a few miles of ATV trails to cover before we got to that forest road.
Yep. Just that his tires are having a rough time just getting any traction at all. Thomas. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll hang back with you, at least we can help pick it up.
Or help each other pick it up.
Yeah, that's the way it works.
I've had a couple near misses myself.
Well, as you can see, we got a quite moist day on the Trans-Wisconsin Trail today. We just got done running some of Perkinstown trails. Pretty well thoroughly soaked.
We arrived in Perkinstown and tried to dry out a bit, but that didn't happen. We did manage to get the Tiger to shift again, so we were pretty happy about that. We had spent a lot of time on the ATV trails and were running behind schedule, so we hit the road and didn't stop again until our fuel stop in Hawkins. We arrived in Hawkins and fueled up our bikes, and since it wasn't currently raining, we took the opportunity to dry out a bit. Since we were running a bit late, I checked in with my girlfriend Melanie, who was planning on meeting us at tonight's destination. She was on time and would arrive quite a while before us, so we split into two groups. One group took a shortcut to meet up with her, and the rest of us had one more trail section to ride. The Georgetown Trail starts just a few miles northeast of Hawkins and is a recent and optional addition to the route. This trail is quite fun and consists of some narrow rolling ATV trails. These trails are usually packed with puddles, so I figured that with all the recent rain they might be a challenge. Actually, they were in great shape. When I mention optional ATV trails, I do this for several reasons. One reason is because most of this route is on public roads which any street legal vehicle can use. The ATV trails, though, have different rules and seasonal closures, so it's up to you to check into this before you ride. The ATV trails add in a lot of fun riding for dual sports and adventure motorcycles. Prior to October 1st, 2016, there weren't any extra trail stickers needed to do this route, but that's now changed. If you plan on riding any trails in Wisconsin, you'll have to register your bike with the Wisconsin DNR. So take a few minutes and look up the Wisconsin DNR OHM off-highway motorcycles and purchase a trail sticker. It's quick and inexpensive and will help us ensure motorcyclists have trails to ride in the future. We took a break at a bridge near the end of the Georgetown Trail. I had just enough cellular coverage to check in with the rest of the group. We were planning on staying at another friend's cabin near the town of Winter, The rest of the group was in town, stocking up on supplies, and we were still almost an hour away. I guess when I told the boys that everyone was in town picking up brats and beer, they were a bit anxious to get to the cabin. We didn't know exactly where Randy's cabin was located, but we had a pretty good idea and arrived with plenty of daylight left. I think a person sure could get used to hanging out at riverfront cabins. We were really grateful to have such generous friends. The rest of the night was spent hanging out with good friends and enjoying some good food and cold beverages at a great location. We still had almost a full day's ride left before we got to the end of the route. I was going to be in the Jeep on day 3 in hopes of getting some good video. Okay, what's the secret of riding a V-Strom 1000 through all the crap?
Sometimes you gotta let it ride you.
Phrasing.
Phrasing!
I just